Hi, my name is Lawrence. I'm the author of Financial Freedom Through Property and Millionaire in the Making. As part of my YouTube channel, I also do live deal analysis. So if you do want me to look at a deal that you're considering, put the Property 24 link in the description or in the comments below, or go onto my website www.lawrencebull.com and request an introductory call with me, and we can run through one of your deals together. Today's investment is out in SOSHANGUVE, and this was from a follower, Hassan, so thanks for sending the request through. This is the first time that I'm looking at this deal. I haven't done any prior investigation, and obviously the analysis that I'm about to do now is based on assumptions. So I haven't seen any kind of proof of income, proof of expense, and please don't make a buying decision off of this video. If you are considering to buy this, you still need to go through due diligence. You need to make sure that you've got your building inspection done, that you've looked at your proofs and your evidence. You got to make sure that the tenants are vetted and that the lease agreements are legitimate. So there's a lot more that goes into this, but all that I'm going to do in this video today is go through a high level assumptive based review of this deal and give you my input as to whether there is some feasibility to this deal or not. Okay, so it looks from this immediate photo, I obviously haven't seen the place. It looks like a house of multiple occupation where multiple people are living in sort of a dormitory style living quarters. I tend to not really like these investments, and the reasons are usually because you can't sectionalize this. The strategy that I focus on is a block of flats that can be sectionalized into a sectional title, and then what you can do is you can get a home loan on each one of those sectioned off units. With this kind of investment, you can't sectionalize, and therefore I don't think it would be easy to get bank financing on this. And if you can't get financing, property becomes a difficult investment class to work with. So it's not to say that the bank won't finance this at all. I just don't think the bank would be very pro this kind of investment. The photos don't give us much info, right? It looks like it's currently kind of occupied, so you can see that there's a washing line, there's a car here. This unit seems empty. So it basically looks like it's a room to rent, and there's probably like the bathroom and the ablution facilities are kind of general to be used by everybody. So let's say like 9 rooms and maybe 2 or 3 bathrooms. That's probably how this thing is structured. I can't see enough with the photos. You'd have to go and view this property to get a better sense. Okay, let's have a look. I'm going to open up www.mypropertyapp.online, and we are going to analyze this buy-to-let to see if it makes financial sense. Again, I'm going to be looking at the assumption of these deals. I'm not going to be looking at evidence. That would be in the coaching program. If you want me to go to that level of detail with you, then we'd have to go into a coaching discussion. So the asking price here is $550. So I'd probably start my bid at maybe about $460. Let's see. It's a 16% discount. I usually recommend going between sort of your 15 and 20% discount. It's easy, well, not easy, it's possible to get that across the line, plus it still makes a lot of financial sense. So it's 9 rental rooms, generating 9,000 Rand per month. So 1,000 Rand per month. What I would maybe do is I'd go to Property 24 or Pocket Let, and I would just try and verify that 1,000 Rand per room is realistic in SOSHANGUVE. I don't know this area too well, so let's go into a house and let's say it's for rent. Let's see what kind of properties we do get here. Low to high. I don't know if you'll get a room rate necessarily. Okay, let's see if we go to an apartment. Unfortunately, there's not a filter here for rooms, on Property 24. So you'll just have to make do. But here it's essentially saying 14164 for 1 bedroom. So I think it's realistic that you could probably get one grand per room with common ablution facilities. They say fully occupied, which sounds suspicious because this unit is obviously not occupied. So some sort of proof of occupation would be good. I'd like to see, are there any lease agreements in place? What's the tenant payment behavior? So do they have some bank statements that they can share with us to show the 9 grand coming in every month? Because my expectation is that it's going to be a fluctuating income model. So you'll get some months where you're getting 10, 11, 12,000, but then some months you're going to be getting 5, 6,000. That's the volatility that comes with low income investments. Okay, let's see, rates and taxes they haven't put here. There's no levies because it's not a sectional title. So we've got enough information here to at least do an analysis. So I'm going to use 9,000 as the rent. Step 2, we go to our buying costs. You can use Uber to work out your transfer and bond registration costs. So assuming we're buying at 460, I think if the bank's going to loan, they're probably not going to loan 90%. They'll probably loan, let's say maybe they loan 350,000. It's a freehold, seller's not registered for VAT, and we're going to purchase it in a company. Okay, that gives us a total cost of about 33. I always give it a bit of fat, so I'll go to about 38,000. As much as this calculation is usually accurate, some attorneys charge different fees for different things, so I always just put a bit of fat in the deal to make sure it's safe. Refurb, I mean, if it's fully tenanted, the argument could be that there's no renovations required because the tenants are happy with the conditions, but it doesn't look like that property has been maintained that well. I would just put maybe a 40,000 rand sort of estimate in place, but this is where you have to go and view the property. You have to go with a registered NHBRC registered builder, someone who's got the credentials and the credibility to be able to give you a quote. You have to go as part of your OTP, put that clause in place and go and view the property to get this number correctly. Finance costs, so let's say we're working on an 80% loan to value at 9% interest over 20 years. Cash flow, so there will be 0 levies. The rates and taxes will probably be about 550. Insurance probably about 400. Void, so your risk of vacancy. Now I don't particularly have experience in this model where you have rooms to rent. Like I said in the beginning of the video, my strategy is more to go block of flats that can be sectionalized, separate units all in one sort of construct. I don't like the concept of a back room or the room strategy with a common ablution center. That's just a personal choice, so therefore I wouldn't know exactly what void cost to estimate, but I would say it's probably quite a high risk strategy, which means I'd probably go with about a 12 to 16% void estimate. Management, again, I don't know the renting out a room strategy, but most managing agents are charging about 8%, excluding VAT. And then maintenance, because we've got that 40,000 rand buffer or budgeted in the beginning for renovations, I'd probably put a smaller maintenance provision in place, maybe 6% per month, which can then build towards the next sort of renovation. Now the cash flow here states 2,300, which sounds quite attractive, but again, that's assuming 9,000 rand rent, right? If it's actually only 800 rand per room, it completely changes the numbers. Another thing that you'll have to be aware of is how are the variable costs worked out. So things like water and electricity, which are all consumptive-based costs, are they charged onto the tenant or charged to you as the landlord? The easiest way to figure that out is to find out if there are any prepaid meters. If there are prepaid meters in all the units, that means that electricity is then prepaid by the tenant. It's not a cost for you to bear. But things like water and sewage and those kind of things, sometimes you can pass the cost onto the tenant, sometimes you can't. If you can't pass that cost onto the tenant, you have to find out what that cost is and then add it here to the other field. So I would probably estimate maybe another 800 rand towards water and sewage per month, leaving you with a cash flow of about 1.4. Let's see what the return is. Probably looks quite good. 10.5. So your cash flow is about 1.5 per month, giving you 18,000 rand per year. The capital you have to invest, which is the renovations, the transfer and legal costs and the deposit, is sitting at 170. So your ROI is hovering just above 10%. For the risk you're taking, I don't know. I would say it's maybe not ideal. Again, it's going to come down to your numbers though. If we go back to cash flow and we say that actually the water can be charged onto the tenant, we turn that to 0 and your cash flow is again 2,300. Your return's going to be great. Then you're sitting here at 16% return. Then I would say, okay, well now the reward justifies the risk. But if we go back to step 1 and we say, actually, you know what, the rent isn't 9,000, it's 7,000. Well, guys, you have to walk away. Then this is a terrible deal. It's sitting at a 6%. So, Hassan, thanks again for sending this through. I hope that this gave you some insights. For those of you who want me to analyze a live deal for you, post it in the comments below or go check out my website. Please give me, a couple of weeks to record, edit, and upload the video. But I hope that you enjoyed this. Please click subscribe, click the notification button so that you are let know of any time new content is released. And please share this with friends and family and anyone else who's looking to get into property. Until next time, happy investing.